So a report's come out to say that the reason for the Southport riots wasn't a far-right movement that was coordinated across social media. It was just a reaction, and people reacted in different ways. It's funny how that's only just come out in a report, because I'm reading a press release from the Children's Commissioner from January this year that basically came to the same conclusion, because it was talking about the children that got arrested, 147 of them actually, got arrested, some of them as young as 11, seen as perpetrators rather than participants. And so therefore the Children's Commissioner, I think she's called Baroness de Souza, she decided, might not be a baroness, she decided to investigate this using statutory powers. See how statutory powers do play a part in anything. And she found that most of the kids that turned up out of curiosity. Bearing in mind, these kids haven't got a lot going on for them in life in working class neighbourhoods. They know they're going to leave school with no jobs. What's the point in turning up at school? You might as well turn up and see what's going on with the rioting. It was curiosity. And yet these were treated like hardened criminals, as were people who tweeted and did things online. And yet here we are, we can see it's not a coordinated, planned assault. It was a reaction. But as usual, the government and previous governments are guilty of this. They focus on the reaction to the problem rather than addressing the problem. And the problem is that we have people living in this country that came from other countries that aren't anywhere near like our own, from backgrounds that are warped and twisted, where genocide has gone on, as with Axel Rubicabana. And then we get people who come here, have a twisted, warped mentality that they're going to do something to our country, this country that's probably giving them benefits, housing, transport, free food, God knows what else. And we are seen as the bad guy. That's the bit that I don't like. So it came out in the report that, information travelled swiftly on social media, some of it incorrect. Some of it was just asking questions, and even people like that got arrested, perfectly decent middle-aged businesswomen who'd never done anything wrong in their life. But it was more important to our government to stifle debate, keep it quiet and pad down the fury rather than look at why people were so angry. So I see our own government culpable in the misinformation by withholding information. The Prime Minister was even warned by a judge to be more transparent. This was then emphasised by the portrayal of the perpetrator as being a Welsh choir boy in a nice blue blazer. He wasn't a Welsh choir boy in a nice blue blazer. He was a twisted, bent weirdo with basic intentions to do wrong in this country, and he had those feelings for a long time. He was on a watch list. He was messing around with ricin, for goodness sake. And Starmer would have got to know all this very early on. And instead of addressing it, he took the trouble to come out and address the nation, but only offered security and protection for one section of the nation that he thought might become a victim in the future. Yet here we are, the British people, with our kids going to a dance class. We're already the victim. We don't know if we're going to send our kids to another dance class or a Ariana Grande concert and they're going to become victims again. We're just sitting ducks, and we're not offered very much by the government. We're told to button it and shut up or you'll end up in jail. And that's where it's gone wrong. And if information is travelling so fast, then grow up and understand that you have to react just as fast, because you're the one with all the information from the security services, and you could have come out and had a completely different attitude. That in itself would have calmed people down. We wanted to feel protected. We wanted to feel heard. We wanted you to notice that we have had enough, and you didn't, and you still haven't. And people pour in every day over the channel, in boats, hundreds at a time, and they're given shelter, accommodation, even end up in hotels. I mean, how ludicrous is that? And some of them openly are here to do harm. And you've put nothing in place to stop it. You could insist on identification if people are coming here. You could process offshore to keep our shores safer. The legislation is in place. There are so many things that Kier Starmer could have done differently where Southport is concerned, and where other events, which will happen, is going to be concerned in the future. So this is what gets me with all this, that we are the victims. When we go to other people's countries, We go for a holiday, we go to ski on their slopes and sit on their beaches and drink their wine and eat their food and have a nice time. And when they come to our country, some of them are criminals at too high a percentage, and some of them are real badasses that do not want to mix with us, that just use this country to leech from its benefit system and take away what we've built up, and then have the audacity to attack us in some way. And you've put nothing in place to sort that out. And you even came out and you didn't even offer consolation to the entire nation. You focused on one group. And that in itself is enough to send people round the bend. So I see the government and the media, especially the BBC, portraying this absolute lunatic, deviant, who stabbed a child 100 times and tried to behead her, trying to portray him as a Welsh schoolboy, showing 6-7-year-old photographs, is beyond contempt. So look into yourself, look into the government, look into the media, and ask yourselves this: are you doing your job properly, honestly and decently? Or are you just delivering propaganda?